Hey guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Here we are, Sunday, March 12th, 2017, and we have some tensions that are brewing, and they're going on in the Middle East. Now, we already know that Donald Trump came out and he was telling Iran, you're on notice. Now, what we just had, Iran conducted another provocative missile test. More U.S. troops are being sent to the Middle East, so we have U.S. military entering into Syria. We also have the U.S. military is sending B-1 and B-52 bombers to South Korea in response to North Korea firing 4 missiles into the Sea of Japan. China, they're kind of upset. The path they chose was right through the South China Sea. But what we are seeing is a rise of geopolitical tensions. Now, this is not uncommon when presidents are elected, that world forces come together to be able to test their resolve. And the question really is that, is Trump going to be able to show that he means business without actual conflict? Now, one thing to point out, Iran, they were in the news discussing how they were no longer going to use the US dollar to trade in oil. And we know historically what takes place directly after countries make that kind of a statement, or like in Libya, whenever they said they were going to convert Africa over to one single gold-backed currency. Now, they made global headlines Thursday when they conducted another ballistic missile test. And why are they making global headlines? Now, the tensions between U.S. and Iran continue to mount. The semi-official news agency Tasnim is reporting that Iran's Revolutionary Guard has successfully conducted yet another ballistic missile test. It was a Navy vessel from a Navy vessel called the Hormuz II. The latest missiles, they're designed to destroy moving targets at a sea of a range of 300 kilometers, it's 180 miles, and successfully destroyed a target at 250 kilometers away. Now, what we're seeing is this rivalry being ramped up, and it's making front page. We also see that more American boots on the ground are moving over into Syria. We had Bashar al-Assad come out and say that he views the U.S. presence there as invaders because they were not invited. And what we saw, Obama was consistently attempting to have U.S. forces be able to be implemented in Syria. Now, it's interesting enough that a revolution started up in Syria, all of a sudden ISIS was created, and then there was all this focus during Obama's reign. But one thing that people aren't neglecting, and is not being circulated in the headline news, is whenever Obama asked for permission to use U.S. military force in Syria a few years before that, and was denied by Congress, that they did not want any more war. And so since that time that he was denied the use of military force, they all of a sudden had some videos released of this force that is in Syria. And now all of a sudden we need to protect the world from terrorism. We have everybody running and hiding behind their bushes here in America, afraid of this terrorist threat, when really, in essence, it was 4 YouTube videos. And he gives them permission and license. More than that, we saw that there was numerous times that U.S. forces were supporting these, what they call moderate rebels. We had John McCain come out and say that he had met with these moderate rebels, and we know that they were completely implicated in arming and aiding this militant force that was taking place in Syria, and now all of a sudden we have American troops on the ground. It's interesting, when the man from the CIA came out several years ago and he said he was walking by and he said, oh, it's bad, what, we're going to war in Iraq? He said, no, we're going to war in 7 different nations. And so there continues to be this push, and it's in defense of the dollar as well as Iran. They will continue to make headlines about this, and it's something to keep your eyes on, because geopolitical tensions are good for no one. Most of the time, people that are implemented or involved in wars, they end up being broke unless they're a victor and they spoil the country. But endless wars, endless spending. We see $52 billion more in government spending being devoted to these wars, and we're broke. We're broke. Look at the national debt. But it's something to keep your eyes out. All right, thank you guys for joining me here on the Silver Report. If you like the content, subscribe, like the videos, share the videos. I thank you guys all so much for stopping by. As always, stay safe.